Bob Menendez, chair of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, thank you very much. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, we haven't gotten notice yet as we speak, Andrea, about when this vote will take place. But I think there'll be a fair number of members who are concerned that we are moving backwards on Wall Street reform that took place as a result of the worst financial crisis the nation has seen since the Great Depression. And for some of us, like myself, who sit on the banking committee and shed blood to ultimately get the system back in order, we're concerned about having taxpayers be on the hook once again.
Are you with Elizabeth Warren or are you with Harry Reid?
I love them both, and I haven't come to a final conclusion, but we'll see, as the debate unfolds. But I have real concerns about that. I have real concerns about not fully funding the Department of Homeland Security. I don't know the Republicans who claim to be the party of the strongest security, how you would leave a department that deals far beyond immigration insecure in terms of its budget. And so those are just some of the issues I'm concerned about in this omnibus, which is why omnibuses aren't good. At the end of the day, it's a handful of people legislating instead of legislating on the House or Senate floor.
Now, let me ask you about what you've been working so hard on, and with the support of Senator Kaine and others, trying to get an update through on the approval of the use of force against ISIS that's been used in Syria and in Iraq based on the 2001 authorization. You got it out of committee. Now what happens?
Well, I've argued with our leadership that, and many members feel this way, that we should stay to debate this critical issue. There is nothing more important that Congress does, that if we are going to send our sons and daughters into harm's way, Congress should be there to assert both its constitutional obligation as well as its prerogatives about how we send the sons and daughters of America into harm's way, and make a collective effort to say this is important enough to do so. The committee did that on a 10-8 vote. It was a very thoughtful debate. There are some who have different views as to how we achieve a common goal, which is to degrade and defeat ISIL. We share all of that goal as Democrats and Republicans alike. And so what I don't want to live through again, Andrea, many members don't, is the 2001 authorization that 14 years later has taken us to a host of countries we never envisioned, and basically is an open-ended approval of the president doing this one or any other one, what they want. And I think that needs to have the appropriate checks and balances. That's what we attempted to do in the authorization of use of military force that we passed out of the committee yesterday.
What happens if they won't stay in town, if your colleagues want to take the holiday break? That means that we have to wait until January to get this fixed.
Yeah, and I think that is really not acceptable. But if that's the course of events, I think what we have done is laid down a marker as the parameters. The AUMF that we passed out of the committee gives the president the wherewithal to do everything he is doing right now plus. But what it doesn't do is give him or any future president a blank check. And I think that is an important check and balance. It's what the founders actually envisioned. It's our responsibility to the American people. And so the 3-year time limit, for example, that we put in the authorization puts it past this administration into whoever the next administration is, plenty of time to think about it, and creates an accounting at that end of that period of time that if we still haven't defeated ISIL, fine, we can have a reauthorization, but let's look at where we're at, what's succeeded, what's not succeeded, and let's make a judgment then. But I think it's incredibly important. I would urge the leadership on both sides of the aisle to stay and debate it.
Certainly, ISIS or ISIL, they're not taking a holiday break. Thank you very much, Senator.
Not.
You've done your job.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.